A couple of weeks ago and uncovered 50 years of adventure. He's eager to tell you about two separate explorations in one speech, a speech entitled A 50-Year Adventure. Please welcome Kanda, A 50-Year Adventure. A 50-Year Adventure, Kanda.
Thank you, Carrie. Hard to follow a speech as great as that. Great speech. However, I have a story of my own to tell. I received a few weeks ago my copy in the mail of the National Geographic magazine 125th anniversary special issue. It brought back to me a memory of the very first National Geographic I received, the 75th anniversary issue in January of 1963. I was in junior high school. I was making a big step in my life. I took all my allowance and made a subscription to the National Geographic magazine. And for the next 50 years, I was collecting National Geographic magazines. I let the subscription lapse over a period of time during my college years and early marriage, but for the most part, I have 50 years of National Geographic magazines. But where were they? I went up in the attic after receiving this the magazine, went up in the attic and started looking. There were a few National Geographics here, there were a few National Geographics there, a few over in the corner here, and I started an exploration of 4 National Geographic magazines. And what an exploration, what an adventure it has been. I have yet to find my first issue. I know I have it. The cover of this magazine is embedded in my mind because it is the very first magazine I ever got. But I know it's in there someplace. The trouble is, my wife has always complained about me being a collector. I wouldn't call myself a hoarder, but sometimes when she gets upset with me, she suggests that. I do have lots of stuff I like to say, but there's a place to put it. It just has to be better organized. But what wonderful things that come up. Here's a magazine from 1970, the cobra from India on the cover. And then there's Under Paris and Above Yosemite. Top and bottom, they cover everything. And not just geographic things. And by the way, geography, history, the world around us, maps, it's all my favorite things, and it's all in this magazine. Here's New Earth, planets beyond our solar system. They go beyond the planet Earth. They go into history, the Civil War, and cover subjects you wouldn't consider would be in a geographic thing, but here's something about the teenage brain. Now this is a mystery and an adventure to figure out as well. And then we go to things like polygamy in America, or merging man and machine, the robotics, the fall of the Soviet Union, a broken empire. And of course we have maps, and more maps in the different magazines. The secrets of living longer. Flying. Dinosaurs. This is, when I was first planning to do this speech, I was figuring, I'm going to get a dolly and stack up all my boxes full of magazines on it and roll it in here. And then, the speech would last until noon. I figured, well, let me grab a few out of the bunch and just share those. There's more and more and more and more here. There's also socially responsible studies of National Geographic. They very carefully avoid any politics. There's no politics in it because the subject, science, is too important to talk about elephants here. And a few years later, last stand of elephants. And it's a really sad story. Recently, Blood Ivory, the destruction of the elephants of Africa, trying to bring out, let us know about the difficulties that wildlife suffers because the world population is simply growing too much. 7 billion people. We're pushing the natural world out of balance. There were magazines that were very unusual and interesting. Here's a holographic picture of the Earth, and the subject is, can we save our fragile planet? And they bring up subjects addressing that issue. The issue of water, the subject of having enough water. Saving energy. The fisheries of the ocean, diminishing returns. The big thaw, global warming, and issues like that. The subject matter is amazing and fantastic. So I have had the great fortune of going in my attic, having an adventure, looking for the past issues, seeing into my past, and also seeing into the past and present of the world through National Geographic. You have an adventure yourself if you were to go into your attic and find things from your past as well. The world is full of amazing and wondrous things, and it is up to us to embrace them and make the most of what is there for us. Mr. Toastmaster.